There is so much to know about the difference between vitamins and minerals. Are things fat soluble? Are things water soluble? What is it? Where do they come from? Why are they important to our health? Well, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to break down your water and fat soluble nutrients, the main ones, so that you've got a really good bottom line, easy understanding as to what they are. To start that, we've got to do what are fat soluble and what are water soluble. So the main difference between fat soluble nutrients and water soluble nutrients, and particularly in the vitamin kind of range, is what we're talking about, is how they're absorbed, how they're transported, how they're stored and moved, excreted from the body. So fat soluble are awesome, both are awesome. Fat soluble are super awesome. However, we've got to watch it because they can accumulate in our body, and that's where we get into trouble. So the fat soluble vitamins are things like vitamins A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Now, they're absorbed with dietary fats, okay? So they're coming in through the small intestine. Your small intestine is where we absorb fat and water soluble nutrients, okay? And we need fat, good fats, for proper absorption. So storage, when it comes to storing, they can be stored in our fatty tissues and the liver. The liver is the one where we get into trouble sometimes. If we take too much of a supplement, it can store in the liver. So excessive can lead to potential toxicity, and our body needs to be able to excrete them. However, fat soluble nutrients are excreted at a much slower rate compared to water soluble. Water soluble, they just dump all the time. Fat, they store and move out slower. So we've got to be careful. If you're going to be taking supplements, and I'll talk about foods and supplements and stuff over the next few episodes, just think fat moves slower. Water, literally like water, it just flushes out of our body really quick, and some of the nutrients faster than others. So let's talk about this. Water soluble. Water soluble means that they're soluble in water. So it's things like all your vitamin C's and your vitamin B's. They naturally just dissolve in water, and they travel around in the fluid in our body. Now, they're directly absorbed into our bloodstream through our intestines, our small intestine. Small intestine is where we absorb fat and water soluble vitamins. Now, the storage is not in large amounts. So any excess, once our body's got enough, it flushes it out. We don't go storing excess, where fat soluble ones we do. So the toxicity risk is incredibly low. However, you can still get an imbalance between ratios. And I have talked in the past about the difference between like the ratio between copper and zinc, for instance. So calcium and magnesium, those ratios. So it's not that we can get too much, but we can get too much of a water soluble nutrient in relationship to its partner. Okay, so they balance each other out in the body. Well, they balance each other out, but they work in synergy in the body. So when it comes to fat soluble nutrients, they're usually found in things like our nuts and seeds, our oils, our fatty cold water fish, things like that. Where water soluble, they're in all your fruits and your vegetables, your whole grains, your lean proteins, they're in all of those. And both are absolutely vital. And a balanced diet should have a little bit of everything in each meal. It just should. And if you're leading that close to nature diet that I talk about in everything that I do, you're getting all the colors, you're getting your good fats, omegas 3, 6s, and 9s, you're getting everything, and the good lean proteins and that all amongst every meal. Okay, so ideally you're doing it with nutrition. We do know that some foods nowadays, or a lot of foods nowadays, are void of enough of the nutrients to feed our body. And so sometimes we need to supplement. For instance, I've done a podcast in the past on our good fats versus the saturated fats. So the difference between saturated, which is meat and dairy, versus 3, 6s, and 9s, and how, me being vegetarian, I'm not into eating cold water fish. I do supplement with flaxseed oil most days. So I want my good 3s, my good 6s, and 9s. So there's fat soluble nutrients. Okay, so food ideally has everything, but it doesn't always have everything. So sometimes we need to supplement. So what I'm doing over these next few weeks is to take you through the core basics of water and fat soluble nutrients, because what I know is that healthy life hack is that knowledge is king. If you can know the core basics, you can gain and retain control of your health. So have fun over the next couple of episodes. We are diving in deep.